Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that whatever state we see this energy we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our external interactions, in our environment. And if we want to see changes in what's going on around us, we have to shift our energy inside of ourselves first. These are not love readings, but you can glean a lot of information about relationships in regards to love because your person is just reflecting back to you. All right, so we're going to start today with Divine Masculine because he had all but one card showing. Top of the deck, overall headspace for him today is the Ace of Cups in reverse. So this is at the forefront of his mind. This is consuming him. And I think it's really thoughts about the withholding of expression that he's been engaging in. And I think it's about his cup being a bit depleted at the moment. He understands the process of filling up the cup from the divine, going within and being able to feel self-love, and it's about self-care. I think there's probably a little bit of a lack of self-care going on. But ultimately, the real feeling that I get from this card is that he's thinking a lot about his withholding of his emotions, his feelings, and his expression, and wanting to pour it out, really wanting to pour it out, wanting to say everything, but really keeping it still close. And it's about his also, because if your cup is depleted, is being depleted, or if it's turned over, you're not able to receive. So he's in a state where not only is he not able to give, he's, because of this, not able to receive. And he's kind of thinking about how he's stuck in this place. If he doesn't give the cup, he can't receive one. The niggling thing in his back of his mind, underlying all of his thoughts, is this Queen of Swords energy in reverse. So he's definitely thinking about a specific iteration of his own divine feminine energy being not thrilled about not receiving this cup. But also he's thinking about his own tendencies to overthink things, to think he can think his way out of situations. So underlying all of his thoughts about how he feels like he can't give this cup, and because he can't give it, he can't receive it, is this like shadow energy of the divine feminine, which is like thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about what he cannot do or what he cannot have. And so his focus is, of course, on not being able to receive the love that he desires to receive from a divine feminine energy, because his own divine feminine energy is sort of being this evil queen inside of his mind and like driving him kind of insane. And he knows that he's doing the same thing to the external iteration of the divine feminine, that whatever he feels for his inability to give and receive, she feels too. And so he's consumed with these thoughts. And there is divine intervention finally coming here. The Tower is the first thing on his mind. He's extremely uncomfortable, but there's been some kind of intervention, something relatively shocking, right? That lightning strike of an experience that's forcing him to just release and allow these old things to crumble, whatever it is that's blocking him or keeping him in this loop, thinking about this giving and receiving of this Ace of Cups. There's a divine intervention here that's like, you're sitting in this holding pattern for so long. Now I gotta fuck with you. Like the universe is like, now I gotta fuck with you. You didn't make a decision. You didn't move. You didn't change. Now I gotta do it, right? And when I do it, you don't like it, right? This is the wheel of fortune in reverse. This is what happens when we resist our destiny. Destiny is like, well, fuck you then. You're gonna be real uncomfortable. You could have handled this a lot better. But the discomfort is good because it gives us expansion. Why is divine masculine uncomfortable? And what is the divine intervention in regards to? A mask. I've never seen another tower card with a figure with a mask on before. So the divine is like, are you not going to take it off? Fine. I'm going to fucking take it off for you. And divine masculine is fully aware of this. He needs to release all of these pieces of these past behaviors regarding this mask. He needs to unmask because he knows that there's this intervention that's taking place that's literally doing this for him. The next thing on his mind is that this Nine of Swords energy, the one that we see underlying everything going on in his headspace right now, this loop thinking, this fear-based, self-protection, having these worries and anxieties that kind of keep you stuck, heading towards that completion energy with the Ten of Swords. He's releasing this. But I also see him right now fixated on the divine feminine being in a lot of pain from the tower moments that he's causing by being unwilling to unmask. Every time they experience this tower, it's because he's still wearing this mask and he's understanding that he's really causing divine feminine all this pain and grief. This is why she's pissed. And I'll tell you what, she is, right? There is a feeling of like, this is absolutely beyond all things right now. Like, this is an unbelievable amount of torture, and he knows it, and he's feeling really not great about it because he understands that he must release his own fears and anxieties and worries, because him holding on to them, him not being able to offer this cup, causing this divine feminine energy to be in this turmoil, which he really doesn't want. He doesn't want her to be in that Nine of Swords energy, would be solved by this, which would be Six of Pentacles, reciprocity, actually giving and receiving equally, right? Giving divine feminine reciprocal attention. He knows that he's causing this. He's causing these tower moments by not unmasking and being incapable of reciprocating to the divine feminine energy, who he sees in a lot of grief, a lot of pain, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. But this Knight of Cups is in reverse because he's still withholding. And this is what the Tower is in regards to. Every time he withholds this cup, which is filled up and ready to go, the divine intervenes. He's also getting this feeling that every time he's ready to give this cup, something bad happens. But now he's understanding, like, no, I still have fears and anxieties about giving the cup. And so there's some kind of a lightning strike, some kind of a tower moment that actually prevents me from bringing the cup because of my fears and anxieties. Here's the Moon card again, clarifying the Nine of Swords. This is like the major version of the minor version, right? And this is truly about his divine feminine, where he's stuck in this dream space. He's stuck in the subconscious with her. He's stuck in this 5D interaction because he's not bringing this cup with expression in it to divine feminine. And this is what the divine is intervening for. Because of this timeline, there's this actual intervention here that's like, nah, this isn't going to continue this way anymore, divine masculine. You are not going to unmask yourself? Fine, I'll do with that. And you're not going to like it. And he's afraid because he understands that this being stuck in these worries and anxieties, this is staying hidden, keeping these secrets and mysteries from the divine feminine. This is what's causing her so much pain. And the last thing he's thinking about is himself in this King of Swords energy, not reciprocating, being icy cold and aloof, wanting to be in his integrity. This is why he's doing this. He's not reciprocating because if he did reach out to Divine Feminine and reciprocate right now, because he is not ready to give her this cup, because he is not fully ready to receive this love, he wouldn't be in his integrity. He wouldn't be. So he has to stay silent, not speaking, in command of his emotions, and not reciprocating. It's like he's begging for a change. That tower, the first thing on his mind, it's like he knows he has to unmask, and if he doesn't, shit's going to hit the fan. And it's almost like he's begging for intervention. Like, please just do something because I don't know how to come out of this 5D energy. And what does he want so desperately? The Fool. He wants a new beginning, right? And we're using the vice versa tarot again. So we could have seen it from this side. There's that sunrise. He's heading off. He's lighthearted. He's got this lily, this of pure innocence there. But it looks like when we see him here, it looks like he still has quite a few more steps to take before he's going to take that leap. But not on this side. On this side, it appears that this next step is the one that's going to cause him to leap into his future. And he has this loyal companion here that's observing him make this next move. Make this next move towards this new beginning. Follow his dreams, right? Follow this cosmic connection that he feels. And he's traveling lightly. He's now not bringing all these burdens, all this baggage with him. He's reduced it down to only what he cares about, the most prioritized elements of his life before he sets out on this new journey. The niggling feeling is he's just really hoping that Divine Feminine can forgive him. This history between them is ancient, right? There are many incarnations between him and this specific iteration, this Queen of Pentacles. And he is really hoping that she can release this energy where she's blocking him because he can't penetrate through this history between them. She holds on to this past and it stands between them and causes her to feel resentment and to go into a protective mode. That Queen of Swords, to have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles with this throne, the back of the throne in reverse, is really him hoping that Divine Feminine is going to release any kind of resistance to him. Five of Pentacles in reverse. There he is suffering by himself in his lovely warm sanctuary while Divine Feminine remains outside in the cold. And this is what he wants to end. He wants to end this suffering in silence, this lack mentality that has come from something within him from a long time ago, right? And this tower moment, he's praying for to be able to be free, to shift, to move, to release these last pieces and to begin to rebuild so that it's not from this place where he's alone and isolated, but where he's warm and together with Divine Feminine. These worries, fears, and anxieties, this is what he's felt relatively powerless to. He's felt powerless to be able to affect Divine Feminine's worries and fears. He's tried everything. He's like at a loss. He has a limited resources, and he feels like every resource that he has kind of fallen short of being able to bring peace to the Divine Feminine. And he's really tried everything in his power. He has run out of ideas and inspiration, and he feels so powerless to being ineffective in being able to help ease these worries and fears. He knows that he's instead a source of them. He wants to manifest freedom from these fears and worries. But he's feeling pretty powerless to them. This lack of reciprocity blocks him from his empress. It puts him in a position where he's dealing with a less than friendly, welcoming kind of a sense coming from this empress. It's also about how he feels that this empress is so abundant, so nurturing, so much of a provider and a protector on her own, that he hasn't been able to match her in this energy. He hasn't felt like he could match her in this energy, but he desperately wants to be able to reciprocate. And to see the Empress in reverse is to release some of the rigidity, the fixed element that's with the Empress. The Empress sits on the throne of the earth, and she's very fixed, just like the Emperor. So when it's in reverse, we see her getting up out of the throne, and Divine Masculine is afraid, if I don't reciprocate, she's going to get up and move on without me. And it's about his energy needing to uproot himself and start to move towards Divine Feminine, to bring in this physical union that he desires, this Two of Cups energy. This is what his heart is urging him to do, to overcome this fear that he doesn't have enough to give and isn't able to receive, isn't able to fully reciprocate with such an empress, right? But one of the reasons why he hasn't brought the cup is because he hasn't been able to bring this cup to Divine Feminine in the light. And so he resists bringing this to her because he doesn't want to keep their union hidden in the darkness. He knows that to stay in this dream space, to keep these secrets hidden, is unfair to Divine Feminine. Here's the Justice in reverse. It's also awaiting legal decisions to be made and not knowing the outcome and being in this place of uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen with these legal situations, this sort of material world blockages that have risen up before them. The outcome of them seems unfair, and it seems unfair to him that he has to keep this process hidden from this Divine Feminine. And then we got overthinking. With this King of Swords energy, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. But we're seeing the reversal because Divine Masculine doesn't want to appear like a broken down soldier in front of Divine Feminine, right? He's had all these wounds, he's isolated himself, and he's gone in to heal these wounds, and he doesn't want to appear like that battered soldier for Divine Feminine anymore. But he's remained quiet so that he could silently go within and heal himself from this Three of Swords energy, from this heartbreak, from taking a look deeply at himself and understanding the self-inflicted aspects of the wounds, right? There's the self looking at their own sort of thoughts that had trapped them. And then behind, I know this Three of Swords is bomb as fuck, Michelle. And then behind the shield here, we have this growth, this flower growing here. So when you're focused on the pain, you can't see that there is this new growth that comes once we heal these wounds. But this is what he's been doing, right? Isolating himself and healing this heartbreak. But he's also in this process of isolation, healing, and being sort of this soldier with all this baggage and all of these battles that he had fought, this whatever legal situation this is that's going down. He's inflicted heartbreak through this energy of isolation. And finally, we're seeing him wanting to come out of this Four of Swords energy that he was in yesterday in the reading with Grace Strago, where he was just letting these fires burn while he was remaining completely silent. But we're seeing that he wants to break this silence now from a place where he's coming from his integrity and explain to the Divine Feminine that he is sorry, right? There's also an apology that comes with justice, that she deserves an apology from him because he was powerless to be able to prevent this pain and suffering that she's gone through, and having to hide and keep all of these things secret from her. He wants to come now and break this silence and be in his integrity with her. But he's also explaining why he had to keep this silence, and explaining that he understands his role in the current situation, which I guess is refreshing. We'll allow it. All right, Divine Feminine, let's look at you. I don't know why, but I was called to bring out some of the older decks today. So we got Vice Versa back. And now we're going to get Mystic Mondays, which was one of my starter decks when I first started my account. Top of the deck, overall headspace for Divine Feminine. Hey, oh, well, there's a bit of union right out the gate. Something isn't quite fair. Something isn't quite balanced. Right? Unfair, not fair. Good news is Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine is fully aware, right? His heart feels it. And that's why you're thinking about it, because you're his heart. And you're like, wow, there is some justice that is still yet to be done here. It's like this card was our major arcana card focus from, before Christmas, I think. And it never fully resolved. And I just sort of reluctantly shuffled on the first of the year to get the Lovers card for the next playlist when I just felt like justice really hadn't been done. But the universe was like, you got to move on. So this has been an unfair situation for a long time, right? The niggling thing in her head is similar to the niggling thing in Divine Masculine's head. It's kind of the major arcana version of it, right? We've got the overthinking and like analysis paralysis that comes with any of these court swords cards. Devil energy, releasing this constant thinking about the unfairness that has resulted from the situation that they're in, just constantly thinking about it over and over and over and over. There's no amount of thinking, there's no amount of numbing, there's no amount of addiction that is going to make it fair. It's just not going to be fair. And Divine Feminine is like, I keep trying to use my mind to give myself closure, and that's not a real thing in this situation. And I keep trying to tell these stories that will explain the injustice, because if I can just understand it, I could accept it. But the truth is, nah, you couldn't. You couldn't. I don't know. I hesitate to call them my clients who I work with, but I guess they are my clients. But there's a tendency there a lot of times to really desire for me to confirm third-party energy a lot. There's always this desire, like, who's he seeing? Like, is he seeing somebody? Is he sleeping with somebody? Is it a third party? Like, tell me the third party. Is it the third party? Even though I know as a reader that if there is a third party, it's a blockage that comes not from the person they're asking me about, but from themselves. And that third party energy is matching where they're at. But I realize the urgency to get that yes response when something isn't going the way you want, when Divine Masculine's not approaching, when I'm doing the readings and you're like, but it seems like he wants to do, and he's not, like, why? There must be some other bitch in the mix, like, right? And you feel, and I think there's this feeling like, I'll be comforted then. I'll feel better then if I just know that there's someone else, because then it will make sense, right? They convince themselves, then his behavior makes sense, because there's like, but the truth is, it still doesn't make sense. Once let's say you establish that, it's rarely the case, but let's say you establish it. There's a third party. There's somebody who's sleeping with. Okay. Does it make sense to you that he slept with somebody while he was claiming he was in love with you? Nope. Okay. So now it's like, well, everything he ever said was a lie because of this one lie I found in the pile. of all the things he's ever told me, right? This, the worst betrayal. For some reason, this is the worst betrayal to us. I'm not really sure why. I don't really know why. I guess because it could result in other families and structurally in our society that would be like awkward. But why is that a bigger lie than any other lie? And if a person is like an alcoholic and they fall off the wagon, do we never forgive them again because they made a mistake? I don't know. It's such a strange fixation we have in relationships, but it's valid. It's real. It doesn't mean your feelings aren't real about it. It's just interesting that we have this feeling that this lie, this particular lie about third-party energy is the worst. So there's a sense here that if you could just figure out why it's unfair, then you could rest. But I've helped my clients figure out why before. And the truth is, it's still unfair. It doesn't become fair. It's still unfair. It's still bothering. It's still obnoxious. And the truth is, the only way to feel better is not to figure out why Divine Masculine does what he does. It's to figure out why you have attracted an energy that does what Divine Masculine does, because that is really what will help you sort out trust issues and all those things that come from this fixation on, is there a third party? It's interesting. I don't know if I just have a lot of confidence, but usually I'm not like, the way that I have always been is like, all right, you can fuck some other bitch, but like, I know who he loves. So whatever. That's usually how I feel. It doesn't mean I wouldn't be really, really heated and be like, wow, way to have a double standard, bro. But I would be upset about the double standard more than the other person. I would be like, whatever. You can sleep with whoever you want. Go ahead. Like, I don't know. Hey, look, it's another card of union. That's 2 out of 3 so far. And it's the Queen of Swords in reverse. You know, Divine Masculine's getting pretty good at being intuitive about Divine Feminine, because she's thinking about this Queen of Swords energy in reverse, and he knows it. He's like, I'm not giving this cup to her, and it's pissing her off. And she's like, damn straight. Okay? Yeah, she's fucking pissed, man. She's like, you're kind of making me crazy. I am overthinking. That's why I'm working so hard to release this devil energy, to just stop being in this place where I'm telling these negative stories that make me feel like shit, because that is making me really angry with you. And I don't want to be in this energy of anger with you, because I really know that it's really not about you, right? I know that it's about me, which is also making me angry. She also doesn't have much of a plan or a strategy right now. She's just kind of like, fuck it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just going to like kind of, you know, not have any control over my emotions a little bit, not conquered them at all, be really sort of pissed off. It's Aries season. I might as well, you know, just grab the fire and let it burn within me. But she's trying to release it. She's trying to melt the iciness that she feels, because she does feel very icy because of this guy. And hey, there's our 4th card. That's a complete match. So we've got 3 now out of 4 cards. Off to a good start. Empress and the Emperor. The Emperor in the Mystic Mondays deck that I was called to use today has the clinging energy on this Divine Masculine. So we can't look at this card and not think about Divine Feminine being really fucking clingy, attached to a specific manifestation, attached to his authority, his control, and his rigidity. And there's this like clinging to it while not liking it at all. Really not liking it. But not knowing what to do, not having any strategy for how to deal with it. It's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm attached to this Emperor. He's controlling as fuck. I fucking hate it. But like, what the hell am I going to do? I don't have a plan. I don't know what to do. It's unfair. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't do anything about it. And the Two of Wands. Another card of literally nothing I can do. I can't do anything. I have asked for something. I guess it's going to be given to me. I don't know where I'm going. I guess I just need to trust in the journey. But you know what? I'm not going to get fucking excited about it. Here's the Page of Wands. I'm holding this excitement back because guess how many times I've gotten all excited and then had to be the fucking Queen of Swords and be like, back the fuck off because you came at me with some bullshit. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to get excited about some kind of new idea coming because I don't want to be disappointed because I've been on this journey for a minute. Knight of Swords. I am hopeful that I will see the truth coming from this Emperor energy, from this divine masculine, that he will come swiftly and reveal this truth and give me this clarity because I'm going crazy. But I'm also being the Knight of Swords for myself. And I'm taking a good hard look at the motherfucking boat. And what do I see? It ain't moving, okay? The King of Wands, he's not talking, he's not acting. And that is the experience I'm having right now on my fucking twin flame journey, okay? My flame isn't burning. You know, my flame is burning out for this person because of this inaction. This is where her headspace is. She's like, I'm holding on to him. I'm clinging to it because I think he's my twin. And I've got this label on him, this specific iteration, but I'm seeking clarity about it because this person that I think is my twin isn't acting like it, is not communicating that way. So maybe I'm wrong. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Her heart space, another match for divine masculine energy. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. For divine feminine, we're seeing her feel this overprotective, over-nurturing stuff towards herself and towards divine masculine, definitely. There's some issues with wanting to control the situation because it's uncomfortable for her. She's also feeling like it's affecting her stability and her foundation and her ability to create and to gestate something like that. Empress energy in reverse, we see divine masculine is aware of that, right? If all this Queen of Pentacles energy is in reverse, this Empress and Queen of Pentacles, he's also sensing divine feminine's overprotectiveness about in regards to herself, over nurturing, and there's elements of controlling feelings that are coming from her because she's flailing. The niggling feeling in her heart space is the Lovers. Now, this is the positive version of the Lovers that are typically in the Devil card, that are chained to the Devil. I love that in this Devil card, it's this path into the deep recesses of the fears and anxieties in the mind. And that's what she's trying to release, because the niggling feeling is the sacred union is available. It's within herself, and there is the potential here for her to see this manifestation that she's longing to be united with. It's underlying her heart space. It's kind of protecting her against that frustration we're seeing in the head space. First card up, it's not over. It's not over. And this is what's making her feel frustrated. She really seeks this completion. We've got this universe card or the world card in traditional tarot. She seeks completion of this cycle. She doesn't want to keep thinking about it anymore. She wants the separation to end, and she wants the two worlds to come together. The Tower. There's another fucking card of union. The Tower, upright. Now, divine masculine, there's that mask needs to come off, right? That's what we need to see happen for his Tower moment. And it's so uncomfortable for him, but it has to happen in order for him to come out of this lack mentality. Divine Feminine, she's been struck again and again and again and again and again. Divine Masculine is aware of it. He knows he's caused that pain, right? From his powerlessness to be able to affect whether she experienced these tower moments or not. Her tower is still standing. There's no one burning or flying out of this tower right now. It's still standing. It's still withstanding these constant assaults in regards to this divine masculine. She wants to rebuild a healthy connection with him, one that is not based on this clinging codependency, right? She wants to get rid of that. She wants this change, this massive change between them to have to do with this controlling energy that she really resists. And she is so tired of this journey, and she wants to put this burden down. The 10 of Wands. I see your question. Is that 5? Yes, more than 5. I think there's 7 now. So the 10 of Wands. She's ready to complete this, to put this burden down in regards to this not knowing where she's going, not knowing what's at the end of that path is such a huge burden for her. And she's not getting excited because of this. 7 of Swords. She's experienced deception. She knows there are secrets that need to be revealed that she doesn't know if she's going to like to hear about them. She knows that there's a surprise here, but she's not getting excited about it anymore. It used to be exciting for her, and now she's just like, I don't even fucking care, honestly. I just want to know what the fuck is going on. I'm tired of this feeling. Like, I'm tired of it. I don't feel like this is old ass energy, and I'm so sick of it. This Knight of Swords, swiftly taking action to communicate truth and bring her clarity. This is her fulfillment right now. This fulfillment isn't over a Lover's card. It's not over a 2 of Cups. It's not even over the 2 of Wands or the King of Wands or the Emperor. Her spiritual fulfillment right now would be clarity. Just clarity and just honesty. She just wants truth. That is why my clients are like, is there a third party? Who is it? Because deep down, you crave the truth. Even if the truth hurts, you want it. And Divine Masculine, it would behoove you to understand that. Even if the truth hurts. Divine Feminine wants the truth more than anything else. And we end with the 9 of Cups, which is quite a card to end with after all of that. It's also a bit regressive, right? To go from the 10 to the 9. But the only reason we're seeing it that way is because of the positioning. Her wish is that this divine masculine energy will take action and communicate his truth. That is her only wish. She doesn't wish for marriage. She doesn't wish for a union. There's no 4 of Wands. There's no Hierophant. No 2 of Cups. She just wants to see this man take action and communicate his truth in his integrity. At this point, she's not getting excited. Okay, let's look at the oracles. Oh, also I have a coven meeting, so I have to get going real quick here. And there's a bunch of oracles today, so wish me luck. All right, let's speed read. Light attribute, divine masculine. You are in the light attribute of the Samaritan. You are not exacting appreciation and recognition for the help that you offer. So you're just doing things right now, and you've just made a decision. You know, divine feminine, she might be in her Queen of Swords energy. She might be icy. She might be aloof. She might not like what I'm saying or what I'm doing right now, but I'm not doing this to get something in return. I don't need her appreciation or her recognition. I am doing this because I want to do it for her, and that's it. Don't compromise divine masculine, and you're being assisted in this energy. Do not do anything to compromise this union right now. You're so very precarious right now in this energy. Like one false move and you could spiral yourself. And I'm not even talking about what divine feminine is going to do in reaction. I'm talking about you. Don't compromise. Don't compromise any of your ideals in regards to this situation either. Don't compromise with anyone outside of you asking you to compromise this. Do not compromise your dreams or what you believe in. You're being supported in that. Divine masculine, will you please move? Make a move. Look deeper. I'm struck because you're also getting this beauty card from the spellcasting oracle. And it's one where we have someone looking in the mirror. And then we have this Narcissus kind of a reference where she's looking into her own reflection. Divine masculine, you are very fixated on outside appearances. Who gives a fuck about outside appearances? This pisses me off so much my ego cannot handle it. Really? Like, that's how I feel about it. Really? And I'm saying this to myself. Are you fucking serious? How long have you been listening to Lizzo and you still feel like this? There's more to it. There's more to the story than what's on the surface. And for every single person in your life, divine masculine, that you're worrying about the judgment of your external appearances. Fuck that noise, man. You have to feel your deep inner beauty that comes from within you, the reflection of your divine feminine to yourself, right? How can something that is a part of you outside of you be so beautiful and you're not? And how is it that you can see this, but you're worried about whether other people can see it? Other people are stupid. That is one thing I have taken with me my whole life since high school. Utter disdain for muggles, okay? I didn't know that's who I had disdain for as a youth. I just was, kind of a bitch about people. And then later was like, oh, people are dumb. They're muggles. Like, I try. That's one of my shadow traits, to be very superior to other people and be like, but that shadow trait has been a light trait for me because I don't give a fuck what people think. I think most people are dumb. So I'm like, what do you know? Like, right? That's my Leo attitude. What do you know? I clearly know everything about this and you know nothing. I don't know. Borrow some of my shadow to deal with that because who fucking cares what people think about you? External thing. That's so, God, no, let it go. Inspiration. Right now, you're feeling inspired. You're feeling inspired by this divine feminine energy, this passion, this desire. Let it move you. Let it carry you where you need to go. Oneness is your true nature, not separation. Oneness. Take the time to breathe out was in its reversal. This is the disseminating moon from the Moonology deck. And it was in its reversal. I usually feel it's this emphasis. But I actually feel right now that it's like, stop taking this time, right? You've been trying to breathe out all of this. I don't know even what it is. I guess fears, anxieties, stuff that you think about yourself. And it's just like you've taken all this time. And it's time to now breathe in, right? Your cup needs to receive. If you're going to take any time right now, take the time to breathe in. Breathe in that love. Breathe in that source energy. Let it fill you up. Unbound, emphasize, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. You are not bound to the past. And then I am going to jump out the window with this card. Turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race, and I'm not reading it. Maybe I should read it. Why would divine masculine get turtle spirit? Source? I don't understand. Oh my God. Apparently you should go slower than you're going. Oh, that's turkey spirit. I was like, wait, that doesn't say anything about speed. Yep. I will say the Knight of Pentacles, though, is a card of motion. So if you're not moving at all, I guess moving like a turtle would be optimal to what you're actually doing right now. Turtle spirit arrives to remind you that when you do what you need to do, putting one foot in front of the other and trusting that you will see your intentions manifest in perfect timing, your prosperity and love will grow exponentially. Now is not the time to rush around trying to force matters. Move slowly, perhaps so slowly it almost feels as if you're not moving at all. Whatever. Okay, I'm not reading that whole card. Anyway, yeah, move slowly, be careful, take your time. Fuck that. Get that deck if you want to see that card. My ego cannot take it. Okay. Well, go away. Top of the deck, Oracle card for Divine Feminine. You're in the light attributes of the Advocate, okay? This is inspiring you to put your compassion into action. I have no compassion left. But I must, because I'm still here. This is no longer about personal gain for you, Divine Feminine. You are truly putting your compassion into action. You're being an advocate for yourself, for the union, for Divine Masculine. You really are being very tolerant. I might not appear to be tolerant right now, but I am actually very tolerant. So your guardian angel is here to support you, and there's an emphasis here with faith. Divine Feminine, have faith, okay? Have faith. You're like, well, I'm not getting excited. The only reason you're not getting excited is because you're stuck focusing on what has happened in the past deception, the disappointments, whatever, the strategy, the slyness, the secrecy, the hiding, because you don't have faith that this will change. Have faith, Divine Feminine, that this will change. If not the specific iteration, then the one that is meant to come to you at this time. I need this so much. The Holy Spirit is here. And this is a powerful, powerful, powerful force. It's not, I take these readings lightly and I joke with you because humor bypasses the primal limbic system, which takes us out of that fight or flight, stress response kind of thinking where we're afraid. Humor is the instant cure to the lower part of the brain and takes you into the higher brain immediately. And so I'm called to use humor all the time. But in all seriousness, when this card appears, there is it's got a weightiness that the other cards don't have for me all the time. Even the God card, which is like, it's God, it's love, it's impressive. But the Holy Spirit is the actual aspect of source that comes and permeates into the physical world. It's that link between the two. It's the steam aspect of the three parts of the Trinity, right? There's the ice, the solid aspect, which was Christ. There's water, which is what composes the whole, and that's God energy. And then there's spirit, which is steam, which is that combination of that water, that solidity, and the air, and it passes through and moves between the worlds. It's one of the only sins that's expressed as being unforgivable, to speak against the Holy Spirit in any way. So it's a really powerful energy. And the Holy Spirit is here to remind you that this frustration that you're seeing me feel and that you feel, if you can breathe in that peace that comes from the Holy Spirit, that devil energy cannot be sustained in your mind. You will be at peace. I need to get this dog. I need to. It's got to happen. So, but this is about unconditional love and loyalty. And companion animals if you have it. St. Francis of Assisi, who loved even the smallest creature. There wasn't a being on the earth that wasn't part of God's plan for St. Francis. And so there was just this, and then there's of course 2 doves in that again. So this peace that you seek, you can find it if you have companion animals. You can find it in nature. Boundaries, divine feminine. You have to honor your own boundaries and someone else's boundaries. Right now, there's a where do I end and where does this person begin kind of thing. It's very difficult for you to navigate. So you want to clearly protect yourself, create protection around you. Make sure you're holding that space for yourself. Grounding in 4 of Cups energy, meditation and contemplation, which keeps us connected to source, and ask to help establish protective boundaries around you. You're getting the friendship card right now, which is such a lovely card. It can be about starting new relationships too. So I will say that some of us are unwilling to start new relationships because we're afraid of being deceived, cheated on, treated poorly. So that's another aspect to see this Page of Wands in reverse. For the divine feminines that aren't interested in seeing a specific iteration return to them, this can be about being afraid to start anything new. Like, I know I'm afraid to start anything new because my past history with like dating apps has just been so not great. And like, I felt like I experienced a lot of deception, and it just doesn't feel good. And so I don't feel excited to start anything new because I'm afraid of what I might be up against, this past energy. So that can be applicable to some. So this card can suggest starting new relationships though, and having fun and being less serious, using that humor, right, to counter that panicking devil energy, that fight or flight response mechanism that happens from being under stress, under duress. So take comfort in your friendships, engage in new opportunities to meet new people, and just be less serious, because this seriousness, this is a huge burden to you, and it can be really problematic if you don't start to really lighten up, right? Thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear, and thank you for expanding my perceptions so that I can see what is of the highest good. So there's a call here to have gratitude for these tower moments, to have gratitude for the fears that you experience, because it's experiencing them that has allowed you to see beyond them, which has expanded your perceptions so that you can see what is actually good for you instead of holding on to what you think is good for you, right? This is a time to give rather than to take, divine feminine. So right now, even if you might be feeling this frustration because you're experiencing a divine masculine iteration that is unable to give you this cup, just understand that in a situation where there is unconditional love, it is not about receiving the cup that you give for. You just give unconditionally because you love. Trust the niggling feeling emphasized for you. What's the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Well, your niggling feeling is union. So have faith, divine feminine, in this union. Trust in the manifestation. Trust that you will be able to be with this energy, with this thing, with this manifestation that you're trying to seek. Lion spirit, be generous of spirit. This is the warning message. So since you got give rather than take and a card about being generous of spirit, it's very interesting. Okay, this is from the Colette Farron Reed deck. Do you doubt you can do much good? Are you stuck in a state of scarcity thinking? Who am I to lead, or who am I to step into my dreams? Who am I to have an amazing relationship? Who am I to think I can help? Lion Spirit is here to tell you that the antidote for low self-esteem is stepping into healthy pride. Of course, you can do all that you desire. The spark of great spirit lives inside you, and you are here to steward that amazing energy into the world. Lion Spirit knows that great spirit invested in you so that you might be a channel for spirit's love and generosity. Take pride in your role, seeking to bring an abundance of love into the world. Perhaps you do much good already, but you're feeling unappreciated, wanting to hold back your gifts and hoard them for yourself. Maybe you are looking for attention and praise. Maybe you were even being generous with the expectation that you would be entitled to a repayment. Know that the real magic happens when you remember there is always enough and you are always enough. Give freely without agenda or expectation. Divine Masculine is doing that right now. And let Lion Spirit remind you that in giving you receive. Then you will see that you are appreciated. Stop comparing yourself to others and seeing yourself as less than, for within you is a wellspring of generosity. Wow. All right, Divine Feminine. So it looks like you are hoarding because you are feeling like you are not receiving the same amount, which Divine Feminine is telling you he has been unable to give you because of the situation that he's been in, that he's been unable to tell you about. And in your mind, you're like, well, fine, he can't give to me, so I'm not going to give to him. Okay? But you love him. Why is that your conclusion? Why isn't it, wow, Divine Masculine is going through a lot of grief and in this terrible place, and he wants to be able to give to me so much, and he can't because he's suffering, and that sucks for both of us. And I'm going to continue to give him my love and support from a distance. That doesn't mean, because of your boundaries, it doesn't mean that you're going to forget about your boundaries and allow somebody to just show up only, halfway for you. And you're just going to be like, that's okay, baby. You can just show up halfway for me. Like, I love you. No. That's not what that means. What that means is that you are lovingly and spontaneously generous with your feelings and love for this person. If you feel called to share it with them, then you share it with them. You don't hold it back because you think, well, if I give him, he's not going to give anything to me in return. It also means that you give him the space he needs very loving and generously, and you give yourself the same respect. If he needs space because his shit is not together, then you give yourself space from him in a very loving and benevolent way. You do it with a generosity of spirit. It's not with the Queen of Swords energy of fuck you for making me feel like shit. It's being like, oh, I see we have wounds. We still need to heal. I will go work on my wounds and you will go work on your wounds. I love you very much. If I feel called to express to you, I will do it. I'm not going to withhold from you. But at this time, until you are with me in my world, I must focus on myself and have relationships, new relationships, friendships, experiences that expand me without worrying too much about what you're doing. Not being a bitter bitch and being like, well, I'm going to go fuck other people then. No. I'm going to work on what I need to meet my needs. And if that includes a physical companionship, I will give that to myself in whatever way I deem appropriate or feel comfortable with, while still respecting Divine Masculine, right? Because I don't want to take what he's doing personally, and I don't want him to take what I'm doing personally. That's the very interesting space to navigate, Divine Feminine. So be generous of spirit without relinquishing your boundaries. Bottom of the deck, both of you, this is where you are in union. Lovers, you are having great passion and devotion and unbridled appreciation of someone or something. You're doing very well. You do love each other very much. You are not in a space of obsessive passion that harms each other or self-destructive devotion. You just have great passion and devotion and unbridled appreciation of each other. You are learning. This is a learning experience for you. Learning experiences are never that comfortable, but you are doing it. Empowerment. Right now, you are both shifting into your Empress and Emperor energy. You are fully embodying that power that you have been allowing to just brew there under the surface because you didn't have faith in it. That is changing, and you are being fully empowered. Hope is the conduit for miracles. So keep hoping, and this miraculous healing that is needed, that divine intervention that is called for from the tower, that will come to you. Hold your vision together. Come out of retreat. This is a card about retreat, replenishment, being held. Come out. No more retreat from one another. You must now come together. And then we are getting, finally, Fox Spirit. Think on your feet. I don't remember now if this was reversed. I think it was upright. Be alert now, for Fox Spirit has appeared and you are meant to move swiftly. Let this clever spirit draw out your creativity as you adjust to rapidly changing circumstances. With both of you getting the tower, I would say things are going to rapidly change. But it will allow you to adjust with resilience, grace, and astuteness. Fox Spirit helps you to think on your feet using your best judgment and wits to help you slip into a more advantageous situation. Now is not a time to hesitate. This goes really well with don't retreat anymore. But it's time for swift action of the mind, a time to think outside the box and notice the many ways in which you might make a move. Aware of your surroundings and always clear on what you deserve and wish to co-create. Trust that your cleverness, guided by Fox Spirit, will serve you well. I love that energy for the both of you. All right, in closing, let's just pull some minor arcana energy we should focus on today. What should we do today to get through this complex energy that we're looking at in our head and heart? As we're heading towards the end of this video, please like, subscribe, share, click on notifications so you know when I'm going live. Alternatively, you can follow me on Tuned in Tarot. I do post time-lapse footage of the shuffle with the songs that played. Sometimes I forget to mention them. They were significant today. The one for Divine Feminine was just like, we hang in there. We can do this. Like, we can handle this. It was an Imogen Heap song called Earth. And the one for Divine Masculine was a Sam Cooke song, Baby Please Come Home. So he's like not wanting to lose Divine Feminine. Okay, here we go. Here's what can help us. Divine Feminine. 6 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. Balancing out our focus on the past, okay? So right now you're juggling a lot of things. There's a lot of things, a lot of pieces moving. And if you can focus a little bit more on the material things that you have to take care of and stop focusing so much on the past, on this reunion, on it happening, on it coming together. You're focused on the imbalance. You're focused on how it's not coming together. Stop that. Focus on all of the other stuff you are juggling right now, because you're not just a person that's seeking this one manifestation. You're a person that has a bunch of manifestations cooking, right? You got a bunch of things cooking. So you don't want to get stuck just in this past energy. Divine Masculine, 4 of Cups energy, 7 of Wands energy. So we have a grounding, meditation, contemplation today. Getting out into nature in some way and grounding yourself, meditating. I think it's also about coming out of the dream space too. The 7 of Wands is a card about standing your ground. So there's ground and ground. So I feel this grounding energy, right? Stand your ground today. Stand your ground by getting from a meditation, or if you could go outside or connect to nature today, get a strong sense of what it is that you desire and stand that ground so that you can actually have this material manifestation. And it won't just be something that you are fixated on, loop thinking about in your head. The final card that's at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords. And this is, to me today, about breaking your silence, both of you, in some way. You must break silence and express. Don't focus on grieving. Don't focus on loss, but break your silence. And of course, pray. This is a card also of prayer. So continue to keep praying today. The Holy Spirit is with you, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. Your guardian angel is really here to help you look deeper. All right. I hope that was very helpful. I'm only 2 minutes late for my meeting. Thank you so much. Have a great day today. Let me think if there's any announcements. Oh, yes. For Patreon subscribers, tonight at midnight, there will be available the bi-weekly check-in. It was about 30 minutes long and it was pretty good. I highly recommend checking it out. To have access to that, click on the description box below, click the link for my Patreon account, and subscribe at the $9 level, and you will have access to 3 additional readings each month to help you kind of get through your month. It's advice on what's coming, kind of, or just what energy you're bringing into the next couple of weeks or the month, depending on the reading, and then like what you can do the way that we do the daily one, but just on a little bit of a grander scale. That is available tonight at midnight. I am not going to be here tomorrow morning because it is my day off and I do not do readings, but you can see that additional content if you go ahead and subscribe. And there's a few other readings that you might have missed if you have not currently been subscribed to my Patreon. The other way you can support me is if you want to change up the imagery on the account, you may send me some of the decks that I'm interested in. There's a link below for my Amazon wish list of different cards that I would enjoy introducing to our daily readings. Thank you so much for joining me here on Tune In Tarot. I will see you live on Wednesday morning. Have a wonderful next couple of days. Take care.